Bang. Okay, so we got the developers Note 4 updates coming out in January. And the good thing about this is actually, since they mentioned that all of the servers will have the same updates by January 25th, at least that is their goal, this means that all of the updates that you see here will come out in global and NA in January as well. They will probably come out a little bit or rather later than Korean server, but these should be coming out in January as well. So first of all, we have two new transformable summons. From what I understand, these are like the summoner transformations, and it looks like it will be Water Skydancer and Fire Beetle Knight, which will increase mining and gathering speed. So Beetle will probably be a mining boost, and Water Skydancer is a gathering boost, I would guess. The cool thing is, previously the Nat 3 Transmogs provided a lower boost, the Nat 4 provided a bigger boost. Now these are Nat 5, so I have a feeling that these will be even higher than the Nat 4s and potentially reaching somewhere close to 30% faster gathering, so that is pretty exciting. Next up, it looks like there will be a legendary artifact pickup for each vampire hunter. So basically this means all 5 element artifacts will be available in the artifact banner, like I guess we can call it a banner now, right? The artifact banner summons, and you will be able to get any of the ones that you need. Personally, I feel like the water is definitely a pretty decent one. I'm not sure about the other ones, I haven't seen them being used too much. But yeah, if you are wanting a legendary artifact for any of the vampire hunters, you should be having a chance to pick them up sooner or later. Next up, we got a pretty cool transmog for an Archangel. Finally, Archangels are getting their transmogs. I'm not sure whether this is Ariel or Artemiel. Looks a bit more like Ariel just because of that blue sword, but yeah, these look pretty cool, pretty cool. Next up, they are just confirming that the Summoner Pass will be changing a little bit because they are making the Korean Pass a little bit more expensive, so they are buffing the rewards in turn, right? And now, there was actually a leak where they provided more updates about the Summoner Pass. Yeah, there we go. This is actually update notes for the NA and global server. Since this is a no maintenance patch, it's already there, so there is a little bit of info there. Really nothing special, it's just Summoner Pass resetting, events, all of that. But yeah, there's some updates to the Summoner Pass that is happening in global as well, and you can see the buffed rewards. The most importantly is, instead of being a random 5-star monster pieces, now it will be unknown monster pieces, and for the ticket buyers, instead of having a 5-star of their choice, you will now be getting a 5-star selection ticket, so you can choose any Nat 5 that is currently available in there. And apart from that, there's a little bit of buffs to other rewards. So mainly, instead of 5-star pieces, you're now getting artifact cores. I believe these are, correct me if I'm wrong, but these might be the yellow tier, like the better tier artifacts. And the rest of the rewards, as you can see, some of them are being buffed from like 50 to 100% stronger. Together with that, they're announcing that Heath will be coming out on the last update in January, which will probably happen on the 25th, because regularly Korea would get an update on the 18th, right? That would be their big update, but I have a feeling they are saving Heath for the big update on the 25th, where they merge all of the servers. So they will either come out with Heath on the 18th or the 25th of January. Next up, something super unexpected, and all monsters and summoners are getting a new maximum level increase up to levels 90. So, I know some summoners benefit more from level 90, some have their disadvantages. Personally, not a big fan, but it will make dungeons easier, and it's probably specifically made for dungeons because they will be introducing new dungeons soon as well. So yeah, all of them are getting expanded to 90. You do not need to get additional transcendence levels. They will buff the maximum level with the current 5 transcendences just as before. So instead of getting 4 levels per transcendence, you will just now be getting 6 levels per transcendence. And next up, there will be some new dungeons added. So it looks like not only the 3 dungeons will be added to Sierra region, but also a new field. So potentially it might be another space where you could maybe AFK farm in. Again, Sierra region so far it's sort of useless because once you complete the main stories, there's really nothing there apart from a few NPCs, but there's really like no goal to go there. New field does give me a little bit of hope that you might be able to gather or mine something, but then again, it's only a single field, so it might not be a case. It might just be a part of the map with the 3 dungeons, but yeah, we'll see whether these 3 dungeons are just an expansion to the main story or if they are somewhat of a repeatable dungeon. And now, the almighty Fairy King. We actually have some details about their skills. It's not really detailed, but we can sort of make do of what we have, right? And yeah, the new Fairy King is added. Fire attribute Mage type can consume their own stamina to inflict powerful single damage and activate a linked skill to targets affected by airborne, so knocked up targets. Okay, so consuming its own stamina to do a lot of damage is very similar to how it is with skill 3 in Sky Arena. He basically loses 30% of his HP. But he also takes 30% of the enemy's HP. He will remove all of the buffs and he will add defense break before the big nuke lands. So if that is the case, that was gonna be a very, very powerful champion. And activate a linked skill to target affected by airborne. So looks like there will be some kind of a follow-up if the target is knocked up, which is kind of cool for summoners that can do that. The problem is there aren't a lot of summoners that can do that, right? I think Soletta has an airborne skill, or it might be a knockdown, I'm not even sure. And I know Windcleave has a skill 1 airborne. So yeah, there aren't a lot of airborne skills as far as I remember, but could potentially be super powerful if you combo with it. Next up is the water one, and that is also a mage type. So it has its own resurrection, so just like in Sky Arena, it will self-revive whenever he's dead. And after reviving, it activates a more powerful wide area of attack, so AoE attack on all enemies and increase their skill cooldowns, right? Oh no, wait, and all of its, oh no, so his skills will be ready. So whenever he dies, all of his skills will be ready to use. That is scary as well. I wish it was more of an assassin instead of a mage type, because with the mage type, it sort of only counters the summoner and an occasional assassin, and there aren't a lot of those. So I don't know, we'll see. The wind attribute support type, wind one is a support type, greatly reduces the skill cooldown of team members and increases the target's skill cooldown. So very in line with the Sky Arena version. In their third skill, increases cooldown of a single target and reduces attack bar of all of them. There really isn't any attack bar in here, so it might just be cooldowns, we'll see. Might just be an AoE cooldown increase. And his other skill will reset cooldowns of your team members. So it does say team members, but in Sky Arena the skill is only single target, so we'll see. If it's AoE, potentially maybe another contender for an Eleanor spot, we'll see. Now, the light and dark ones are actually archer type, so we have a triple type summoners, or I mean monsters here, right? So the light attribute archer type cancels the target's strengthening effect, so a buff strip, activates conditional invincibility, probably whenever he kills, at least that's how it works in the Sky Arena, and reduces the cooldown of skills of the team members in their age. So this is most likely a separate skill, just like with the wind one, because the wind and light one in Sky Arena have the same cooldown reset skill, so that's probably going to be a separate skill just for resetting. And for dark attribute, archer attacks a weak point. Ooh. Wait, attacks a weak point, her skill cooldown is reduced, the strengthening effect is stolen, robbed, I love the word robbed, and when stolen, damage is ignored. Wait, what? And when provoked, the attack speed increases. Holy, wait, let me see this. Attacks a weak point, right? Potentially with basic attacks as well. Her skill cooldown is reduced, so it reduces its own skill cooldown. Strengthening effect is stolen, and if stolen, the damage is ignored. Wait, what? Wait, so if he steals, he doesn't take any damage? Or something like that? That's a bit confusing. And when provoked, the attack speed increases and counter attack is triggered. When provoked, potentially, is this like a paladin counter? Are they making a paladin counter? Like if you provoke him, his attack speed increases and he becomes starts counter attacking? That could be interesting. That could be interesting. We'll see. We'll see. If it comes out tomorrow, rest assured I'll cover the skills. But yeah, that looks pretty interesting. And now some changes to the dungeons, like the new levels of dungeons and the runes. First of all, Path of Growth will be getting 3 extra levels, so level 3, level 4 and level 5 hard modes. And 2 difficulty levels are added to the Path of Training. Path of Training has been touched in a while, so I'm very happy to see that. I'm not sure whether it will be like a hard mode or it will just be level 16 and 17, but yeah, I'm kinda curious because I do like farming Path of Training as of recently. So, in the final stage, the ranking is calculated based on the attack time and weekly ranking rewards are added. So yeah, just like they mentioned, you need to clear all dungeons at the last level to be eligible for the ranking. And based on this ranking, you will be getting some sort of weekly rewards, right? And to this end, the standard for quick battles in the final stage will be set higher than before. So they look like... Oh wow, you need 40% more... Wait, wasn't it 40% before? It was 40% before. Oh, you know what? They might be lowering the lower levels to something like 20 maybe. And making the last stage remain at 40%, so it wouldn't be as easy to quick battle it, right? That's kind of interesting. And in the new difficulty Path of Adventure, you will be able to obtain mythic level runes. So it looks like, is it a whole new difficulty for all 3 levels? Hard to say. Or maybe it's just whenever you reach like level 1 at hard mode, you can already get mythic level runes, right? And you will be able to acquire unidentified runes. This is massive. Look at this. Unidentified runes. If you remember what unidentified weapons are, you can actually register these runes in the exchange center. So you can sell runes now. That is nuts. That is nuts. And mythic runes have the same stat system as existing legendary runes, but instead of 4 substats, you now have 5 substats, and one of these is just like a specialized for PvE. So it will not affect your gameplay in PvE at all, and it will essentially mean that as long as you continue using current legendary runes, mythic runes will have no difference when it comes to PvE. But if you want to focus on PvP, then these runes will be pretty important for you. And next up, expeditions and special expeditions will also have new difficulty levels, and the new difficulties you will be able to get a new item, as you can see right here, called the Conversion Stone, or for some of you Sky Arena players, you will refer to it as the Reappraisal Stone. However, it's not as OP in here as it is in that game, because in here you will only be able to change 1 substat instead of all of them. And looks like you can only do it on a plus 12 or higher rune. Okay, next up, 3 new Transmogs. So that's a Sylph, that is a Harp Magician, and oh my god, is that a baby Scarab? Is that... oh my god. Yeah, this is epic. This is epic. This is a sick Transmog. I'm not a fan of the other 2. This... beautiful content. Now some battlefield changes. I'm not sure if I'm reading this correctly, but this could be interesting. So, in addition to the regular and sports mode, they're adding a 3rd mode where you will only be able to play with 1 summoned monster instead of 3. What? I'm not sure how that will play out, but that seems like a balancing nightmare, and I'm all for it. That sounds amazing. So yeah, that will be interesting to see. 1 monster battlefield only. That's sick. Next up, Challenge Arena. We already sort of know about this, so they're making similar level and lower level combat full order in the Challenge Arena, and for higher difficulty opponents you will still have the option to manual it. However, they are lowering the required combat to manual it, because previously I think you needed like good 20% at least in order to challenge with that like whole trial challenge option. Now they're lowering it so it's a little bit more accessible and not so much as a disadvantage when using it. And of course, what a good update to finish then reorganizing Galagos finally. So I expected a bit of a different rework than what is listed here, but it looks like now they are dividing Galagos into two parts. So it seems like they will be keeping the same regular Galagos. So basically it is divided into a basic area and a ranking area. So basic area is where you just get your rewards and can dip away, right? And ranking area is where you can challenge and fight against other summoners, well, in terms of how far you can pass, how fast you can pass, and receive ranking rewards based on that. So the ranking area is endlessly challenged, so that means they are sort of keeping the same format that was teased, at least. I mean, it was removed after 4 days, but looks like they're making something similar, but they will be lowering a little bit of stages on top of that, because the main reason why they removed it was the excessive amount of gameplay that's needed there. But yeah, fast battles are supported, so it looks like you can quick battle these using tickets. Artifacts have been reorganized. When it comes to artifacts, I believe they are referring to the little cards you get from Galagos, not the actual monster artifacts. And acquisition of artifacts by rarity is also limited, so you have to be a little bit more careful when choosing artifacts. So yeah, some kind of a Galagos, like it's getting split up. I don't know how that will work. From what I understand in here, it's gonna be the current old Galagos will be the basic area where you can get rewards. And then the ranking Galagos will be like the new one, like with the endless stages. I'm not sure if you will get rewards there, but you will get rewards for ranking a certain place amongst your server, right? So yeah, that's pretty cool. To finish it off, they're adding a little bit more juice. So we plan to add temporary storages for artifacts to resolve inconveniences caused by a lack of space in the bag, and are reorganizing to allow monsters to evolve, transcend, and skill strengthen at the same time. Okay, fair. In addition, many other inconveniences are being improved. So a lot of quality of life changes are basically being added, I assume, before the big merge of Korea and global, yeah? So yeah, pretty cool patch. I love this Transmog, by the way. Fairy Kings look pretty exciting. There is a chance that they might just be released tomorrow, we'll see. But yeah, a lot is coming out, and stay tuned for the big patch tomorrow. Peace!